Hello, it's Brother Sean. You may not know me, but I'm an enclosed lay monastic Franciscan monk who lives a very simple life here in this beautiful small sleepy village in the South Lakes of the United Kingdom. And yes, I do raise a few eyebrows in my fancy dress, but that's my uniform. Like when I was a nurse, I wore a white two-piece suit. In the monastery as a nursing monk, we wore a white habit. But it's a uniform of giving witness to the organization or the person I represent. And the person I represent is the Lord Christ, the cosmic Christ. But enough about me. What's your understanding today when you hear the words rejoice and be thankful? How can you rejoice and be thankful in a recession when you've lost your job, or the thought of losing your job is creating disharmony, chaos, crisis, friction? Or when your partner has been diagnosed with cancer or may have left you, or one of your young children has been expelled from school, or you've discovered that you yourself are having to embrace a life-threatening illness. How can you rejoice and celebrate when you've got this overwhelming sense of loss on the horizon? Let me share something with you, if I may, and I'm coming to you from my heart. I'm not representing a religion or a church, and I'm not here to convert you. I'm here to share with you. I remember in 1966 when my dear friend, a brother monk, age 42, was diagnosed with cancer and was given weeks to live. But he lived over a year. And my dear friend brought a lot of love and laughter into my life. When I say love, spiritual love. For I'd never seen him naked in all those years until I prepared him for burial, when I washed his body. And that was a real challenge. And I was the senior nurse in palliative care, caring for the dying. And 3 months after that I crashed. And my GP, a good friend, put me on Prozac. And that introduced me to the work I do today. Because I guess then I was an egotistical, bombastic, full of his own self-importance. And then I hit rock bottom and introduced to mental illness as a result of taking Prozac, where it blew me off course. Somewhere along the way I disappeared from radar, and my manic behavior made a lot of enemies for me. And though I spent 4 years in a wilderness of real pain, having lost my job, my home, my partner, my health, today I look back on that and I rejoice and thank God. Why? Because I'm a different person. Yes, I am. Because after so many years of rescuing other people, because I never felt good enough, my religious family filled me with guilt as a Catholic Christian. And that guilt alienated me from a loving God, because my God was a God of fear, even as a nursing monk. And that was another experience. It wasn't all love and Hollywood like the nun's story. It was a nightmare. Prisoners today have it a lot easier and cushier than we did as monks. At least today prisoners know their rights. We had no rights. The moment we surrendered to God and became an ordained monk, it was curtains, literally, because you ceased being an individual and became something corporate. And it was all about keeping up appearances. It wasn't about listening to your heart. It was all about processing and living in fear, guilt. But today I thank God, and I rejoice and I celebrate my freedom from all that nonsense. And that's why I'm on the outside of the church looking in, sending love, light and blessing to many of my colleagues, because many of them, like me then, lived, well, it wasn't a happy life. There are a few exceptions, but I think it takes a person of the skin of a rhino, and I'm afraid I think my skin is more like that of a fish, scaly and drops off. Listen to me. The Father, Mother God who created you in your mother's womb did not abandon you at birth, but has sent a messenger of God to walk with you, to guide your every footstep and every mistake. And we cannot blame God for our mistakes. We blame ourselves, because through human nature we do take the wrong turn. Gosh, I've gone through many's a traffic light on red in my spiritual journey, but He always brings you back. And the life I'm living now is a lot simpler. It's less complicated. And there's an abiding trust in my heart at my beloved Christ. I don't buy into the dogma. I certainly don't do the fear or the guilt. I come as a child of God, created in the image and likeness of God, and that's good enough for me. And everything is simple. And I try to the best of my ability, with God's help, to see Christ, God, in every child of God, whether I like them or not, whether they're black or white, gay or straight, it doesn't matter. You could be a pole dancer, a lap dancer, a prostitute, a drug baron. It wouldn't bother me. You're accountable for your own life. But my role here is not to judge. It's to love and support and care in whatever way I can. Let me read to you a message from Jesus that was channeled to another being of light. And they are beautiful words, and they're His words. They're not my words, and I'm not here to spiritually blackmail you into believing something that isn't true. Rejoice and be thankful as you walk with me through this day. Practice trusting and thanking me along the way. Trust is the channel through which my peace flows into you. Thankfulness lifts you up above your circumstances. I do my greatest works through people with grateful, trusting hearts. Rather than planning and evaluating, practice trusting and thanking me continually. This is a paradigm shift that will revolutionize your life. Rejoice and be thankful. Rejoice. Again I say rejoice. These are the words of the Christ to your heart. And when I remember all those years ago in 1997, when I lost my job through my manic behaviour and I was forced to take ill health retirement, I lived in fear of people. I lived in fear. I wanted to go to church, but I would get the sweats on me and I couldn't go in. And that's sad, really sad. But there are many today living with mental illness who've condemned themselves to a living hell. Me being a trained nurse then, I am aware that my profession didn't look too kindly on any colleagues who had a mental illness. And you know what? That's their stuff. They're all the poorer for not understanding. But now I understand a little of what Christ felt when he went to his death for love of you and me. So whatever my crosses are, I've turned them round into a prayer like depression. I live with it every day. Yes, I do. And there are days when it really hits you. And all I do is stop and implore Christ to either take this from me or give me the strength to endure it. And usually it's the strength to endure. So I go and lie down and I just ask Jesus to love me and support me. And I turn what I'm feeling and going through into a prayer. And you know, that's the best prayer, the prayer from the heart. So if you who are watching this, I may not know you, but God knows you. And my prayer to God today is that in doing this short video, he will draw those who need to watch it, who need to listen to their heart. It's okay having mental illness, but it's not okay if we let ourselves go and we fail to trust. Trust in your heart. If you have difficulty trusting, then maybe I can help you. Contact me on the website. I've been guided and inspired by Jesus to write several books. I'm not clever. I left school at 11. I'd no formal qualifications. Everything you read is from God. Even the CDs that I've done, that are now available as downloads, they're all inspired by the love of God. But they're not religious. In your face. They're spiritual. Take heart. Don't let anyone undermine you. Don't let anyone take away your peace. And it doesn't matter what your circumstances are, for we all have to go through our own Armageddon. Just take time out, be still, light a candle. Ask the company of heaven to come to you. And the moment you use your gift of free will and ask for help, it comes straight away. And all that's asked of you is that you will trust your heart, that you will come back into your heart and feel the love of God, sense the love of God, become the love of God. Let's reflect. Father, Mother God, you called each one of us by name. In our vulnerability and availability, use us. But first give us the strength this day to embrace you in us, to embrace our weakness, our foibles, our mistakes. Let us release the control of the Antichrist on our feelings of disempowerment. Allow us surrender to your love. For there is no greater gift than to let go and allow you be the Christ, the Son of God. Be still now and remember these words. Rejoice, celebrate your life. Even if you're in the midst of the thick of trouble, bless it, release it. But don't allow it to destroy you. That's the key. Don't hold on to it, let it go. So be still now and celebrate your life. And your needs will be met if you trust. Namaste. Peace.